As always, I'm Jalen Russell, joined again by Jalen Gray, giving you the latest on the NBA. Now, there were a lot of guys that kind of emerged as like big superstars. Jimmy Butler got most improved player, but the guy that finished fourth last year was Hassan Whiteside. What are you expecting from him this year?
I expect, the same as last year and maybe a little more. I mean, guys are obviously going to be checking for him now because, he was that, double-double guy that kind of came out of nowhere. But, I mean, I don't think he really has any, much of a choice.
You brought up a really good point. You said a guy that just kind of came out of nowhere. Last guy that I can remember that just came out of nowhere, Jeremy Lin. What happened to him?
All right, please don't.
If we're going to talk about flashes in the pan, guys that have been in the D-League and then came to the NBA,
but
and just all of a sudden were superstars coming in the back half of the year when people couldn't really
call him a
for
superstar. He was a good compliment. He was a good fit. After Chris
Bosh
Bosh
he's going to be the next big man, the next big guy, especially when he got that triple-double against the Bulls.
I'm not going to give him all of that, but he was averaging 12 and 10 last year. I expect him to at least do that.
But
in the last month of the season, he was averaging 17 and 13.
Can you really count on a guy, though, that spent 2 years in the league before that, had 19 games over 2 seasons, averaging 2 and 2, then went to the D-League, then went overseas.
You act like nobody can get better.
4 different teams in 2 years.
You act like nobody can get better.
And all of a sudden now he's a superstar?
So he can't.
Something about that just doesn't seem right.
He can't get better? Obviously, he came and then he was tearing up the league last year.
I think it's a lack of people preparing for him, and he just kind of caught people by surprise. But now, not only are people going to prepare for him, but also his minutes were inflated because of injuries.
He has a great nose for the ball, and he's a good defensive player as well.
He is. He did get a lot of blocks. He's really good at sitting on the block. But when you look at how many people are going to take minutes away from him this year, you've got Udonis Haslem.
Okay, Udonis Haslem is not going to play.
Udonis Haslem is not going to 20 minutes a game at the end of
because Chris Bosh got hurt and Mick Roberts was also not in the picture. Now they've added Stoudemire. And Mick Roberts is coming back. Udonis Haslem is not going to get minutes.
So even then, you're still saying there's another 5 guys on the team that are going to also be playing big man. You've got Haslem, Stoudemire, Birdman, McRoberts, and Bosh. And then you've got Hassan Whiteside.
So minutes are probably going to get reduced. Stoudemire is probably going to take that place.
Still, even then, though, so if he starts playing poorly or misses a couple games due to injury or due to him losing his temper, which he kept doing at the end of last year, and if he starts getting suspended
can you blame him when he's stuck on a team that's not going to make the playoffs?
So you want a guy that has a bad attitude to play more minutes? Who, if stuff's going wrong, he's just going to shut down.
I don't think that's.
I just don't expect a whole lot from him. I'm seeing something like single-digit rebounds, single-digit points per game, and he'll be a solid backup big man, but he's not going to be this great.
He's going to get his rebounds. He's going to get fed by Dragic.
We'll have to see. But moving on, another big man who played really well last year was Tristan Thompson.
He's basically the same player.
And somehow the Cavs have not signed him yet. I don't know what's going on over there. But can they win the Eastern Conference without having Tristan Thompson on their team?
Well, I want to, give comfort to Cavaliers fans and saying that Tristan Thompson is definitely going to get signed by the Cavaliers because LeBron wants him to.
You hope.
But, I mean, even if he doesn't come back by some, for some strange reason, I think that, he's not that important to their play. I mean, they can't win the finals without him, but they can get to the finals with pretty much just LeBron, as we saw last year.
That is the most disrespectful thing I think I've ever heard you say on the show. So Brian Windhorst is coming out saying that this holdout could last well into the season. And also the team that's gunning for him next to Cleveland is Toronto. If he signs with Toronto, Cleveland is in extreme trouble because with him on that squad, they've got Lowry, DeRozan, Ross, Carroll, Patrick Patterson.
How'd that work out for them in the playoffs last year?
But they didn't have Carroll, and then you also had Tristan Thompson, a guy that was averaging 8.5 points and 8 rebounds per game in the regular season, including 3.3 offensive rebounds.
But is he going to be able to do that when he's not going to get as many minutes in that crowded system?
Oh, he absolutely would get minutes because their front court's not crowded. Their back court's crowded. But front court-wise, they've really only got Patrick Patterson.
Well, they like to go small.
And they've also have
Patrick Patterson likes to step out and shoot threes.
He fits in the small lineup. He's only 6'9". He's 238. He's he can guard 3 positions on the court. He can guard 3 through 5.
That would have to be a slow small forward.
And he honestly reminds me of Dennis Rodman. I haven't seen another guy that has that kind of energy, defensive prowess, and is undersized and gets to the ball as much as he does. And he's on the boards every time. So when you look at Cleveland, they were only winning by 4.4 points per game. Like I said, Tristan Thompson was averaging 3.3 offensive rebounds. So him extending their possessions.
In the regular season, okay.
Right, so him extending their possessions.
We're talking about getting to the finals.
Games. He's extending their possessions, getting them more shots. He's essential for this team to win.
Okay, I'm just going to list off these. He was 9th in rebounds in the playoffs last year. Of course, he was 2nd in offensive rebounds. But LeBron averaged more rebounds than him last year. And if they lose him, you act like nobody's going to pick up the slack. They didn't have Kevin Love for, the entire, last 3 rounds of the playoffs?
Yeah.
So he comes back, that's more rebounding. Varejao is coming back. The last healthy season he had, he was averaging 10 rebounds. And the teams in the East that were averaging more rebounds than them were Boston, Washington, Charlotte, Indiana, Detroit, and Chicago. And none of those teams are in a space where they can take on LeBron.
The way I see it, Washington, Miami, Toronto, Chicago, and Milwaukee could all upset them in the playoffs. But those guys are valuable. I just don't think any of those guys get to the ball
Miami
as well
can't
as
rebound
Tristan
enough.
Thompson does. That's all we have for you guys this week. Thanks for watching The Dish. Have a good week.